So welcome back to another video. And today I will be giving some Scream 5 theories and some small bits, news, and I just want to talk about Scream 5. We can officially call it Scream 5, but I've said this before, I truly I know, again, I don't have the inside source, but if you know, you know, they're not going to call it Scream 5. It's either going to be called Scream or the first one with a tagline. Or they could just call it Stab. It would be very cool if they actually did that. Call it, I think that'd be cool. But, small bit of news, um, and some theories, and I just want to talk about Scream 5 with you guys. And the one of the viewers, again, Mikey, I'm not going to say your last name because I apologize. I may butcher it, and I hate butchering people's names. So shout outs to Mikey. He did a little bit of research, and what he told me, he commented under the video where I talk about Neve Campbell, basically confirming she's in Scream 5. Like, I guess you could say she basically confirmed, but as well, she kind of didn't. So, I don't know, but we could just go ahead and say she's in Scream 5, whether that be small or big part. But here's what Mikey said. Also, more news: the two directors are following 5 people on Twitter, which could mean something, it may not. But yeah, he says the two directors are following 5 people on Twitter. Two of them are the original stars: Courtney Cox, Gail Weathers, and David Arquette Dewey. The two others are stars from Riverdale, which is very interesting because a lot of them are, can't talk, apologize. A lot of those stars on that show Riverdale are up and coming, and a lot of the stars from the first Scream movie were up and coming. I like that. And the Cole Spouts, the last person is Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande in Scream 5, or Scream with a tagline. That's interesting. Ariana Grande, and I have a theory about Ariana Grande. The first one is I highly predict this. They're going to recreate the scene from the original Scream with the Drew Barrymore. You know what I'm talking about. Like, with I can't talk apologize because if my theory is right, it's gonna blow me away when we see this in the theaters. Maybe to be in the theaters, but the theory is, the theory that I have is if you watch the first Scream movie, the first time you watched Scream movie, you saw Drew Barrymore, you thought, oh, she's going to be the lead girl, she's going to be the final girl. No, she got killed off like that in the most iconic way, right? What if they do that with the same thing with Ariana Grande? Obviously, they're going to change things to make it their own, maybe make it more gorier, but that's how they're going to open up. Scream 5 is with them recreating the Drew Barrymore kill with Ariana Grande. Why I say this because back in the day, Drew Barrymore was up. She was not up and coming. She was a big name, and she was a big name in Scream. You go back and watch Scream. A lot of the cast was up and coming. These two directors picking a lot of the Riverdale cast up and coming. Ariana Grande being one of the big names, possibly could mean them recreating the Drew Barrymore kill with Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande, big name in music. She's she has a few movies under her belt. She's a big name. You would think she would be the new final girl, passing the torch down to her character, but no, she's going to get killed off, and it'll be the most unpredictable thing in the whole franchise. Well, in my opinion, because you would think Ariana Grande will be the lead final girl, passing the torch down. Nope. She would actually get killed off very soon in the movie. That is my theory on that. That is my theory on that. That basically Ariana Grande is going, they're going to recreate that scene with her. That's my theory. The other theory I have, I'm sticking with this theory, is the OG, the original cast will be in this Scream 5 or Scream with a tagline. They're going to be in it, but not as much as we think. These two directors are going to want, again, it's basically being confirmed. Neve Campbell basically confirmed it. These two directors will respect Wes's vision, but at the same time, they're going to want to do their own thing. So what I think is going to happen, there's going to be these group of teenagers, basically no name people playing their roles, right? Which I think is pretty smart. So basically, no name actors coming in there, playing their roles, and basically being a continuation, but also being a servant as a soft reboot, because these two directors are going to want you to get attached to these new characters while having the old characters there. Are the old characters secondary? Are they just there in the background? No, we're going to get caught up with them. But what I think, here's my theory. The biggest theory about the story. Remember that small synopsis we had was about a woman returning to her hometown with some events basically happening. My theory on that is, um, you're going to open up Scream, right? You're going to open up Scream 5 or whatever they feel like calling it. They're going to open it up with the Ariana Grande kill. Basically just recreating the Drew Barrymore kill from the first Scream movie, which would be very, very cool. And then then you don't, then you cut to the new group of kids. You cut to the new group of teenagers. You don't cut to Cindy. You don't cut to Dewey. You automatically just go to the new characters and you see where they are. And as the film progresses, that's when Cindy, comes in the picture, and Dewey, and so forth, right? Because my theory is Sandy is going to hear through the grapevine that there's these, there's all these killings starting to happen in Woodsboro. But there's a twist. These kills are way more brutal and way more vicious. And that's saying, another theory. I think that's what they should do is obviously have more creative kills, have more blood, have more gore, but have that play into the story as well. To me, that'd be creative is if, have this killer be more vicious and brutal, more gore and more blood and more creative kills than just a stab or just a slit of the throat. You know, be more creative with the kills, but also have that play into the story. I think that's the way to play into the story. Cindy hears there's this new killer, attacking these teenagers at Woodsboro. She feels it's her responsibility to go to Woodsboro and track down this killer and protect and save these kids from the killer. I basically just gave y'all basically what the premise could be. Cindy returning to her hometown to save these kids. Basically, Cindy kind of being a Gail Weathers type of character where you're going to see her, but she's not always there. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. You know. Or Cindy has returned to her hometown as a reporter. She wants to report on things, whatnot. But when she returns, that's when the killings start happening again. So either way, but I think the biggest theory is that they're going to recreate the Drew Barrymore scene with Ariana Grande. That's going to be the opening. Then you're going to cut to the new group of teenagers. They're going to show you the new final girl who will carry this franchise. Obviously, this movie's going to be successful, so they're going to, make a part six. And I think a part six is needed, anyways. But that's my theory. We're going to open up with Ariana Grande, um, recreating the Drew Barrymore kill, cut to the new final girl, and then as the story progresses, that's when Cindy starts to come into picture slowly. Then that's when Dewey comes back into the picture, and so forth with that. So I do think that is my biggest theory of the whole story is, these killings is what's going to bring Cindy back to her hometown. Now, I think they should make now the character Dewey. Dewey's an interesting character because do we keep him in the town as a sheriff? I think they are. I like Dewey. Um, have a story, have an arc in the movie where Dewey was contemplating on retiring as a cop, but he felt it was his duty to stay there. Have him stay there and stay as the sheriff and basically protect this town. And that's what he did. He stayed sheriff after the events of Scream 4. He stayed sheriff, whatnot. I feel like this way is good too because you're just quickly explaining what happened. Very simple. You can still introduce the new characters while also introducing the old characters. Gail Weathers, um, her, you can say, she just moved on with her life. You know, she just really didn't want a part of Woodsboro. She's just tired of Woodsboro. She just wanted to move on. Like she moved far away. Actually, she just moved far away. And let's, have, you know, I want one of these characters to be hesitant to go back into these murders and trying to protect Woodsboro. I want that to be Gail Weathers. I want that to be the Gail Weathers character. I want her to be the character. I want her to be the character that's kind of hesitant. You know, um, if you guys seen It Chapter 2, almost kind of like that, where these killings start to happen again and these people feel responsible, and they're going to basically take care of business, take care of this new killer. That's really cool. I feel like, you know, it's kind of taking that It Chapter 2 approach without really knowing it. I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, my biggest theory is that, and we need to get some unpredictable stuff in there. I think out of the main cast, who should die? Out of the whole main cast, who should die? Who should die in Scream 5 out of the OG, the original cast? I think Gail Weathers. I think she should be the one to die. Think about it. We need one of these characters to get killed off. And we need that unpredictable there. We need this. We need a Scream 5. Again, it may make some people angry, but to me it would make perfect sense to kill off one of the original characters, because if you're focusing on new characters, obviously going into Scream 6, then you would just be really focusing on the original characters and not so much the new characters. I feel like Gail Weathers is possibly going to be one of the characters to get killed off, and that would kind of give Dewey and Cindy a reason. Obviously, they're going to make a Scream 6 if this movie is successful. Trust me, it will be successful. It will give Dewey and Cindy a reason to come back in part 6 because they feel responsible for her murder. Because Cindy, especially Cindy, did not want to bring Gail into the fold. She did not want to bring her back to Woodsboro. And she feels responsible for bringing her back into the fold, bringing her back into this world of Woodsboro. So, them are some of my theories. I think, obviously, Mike, shout out to you. I don't want to say your last names. I may butcher it and I apologize. But shout out to you because he kind of helped me feed into some of my theories. The first one, I'm going to say it right now, predicting it. They're going to recreate the Drew Barrymore opening scene. I'm predicting it. I'm really predicting it. And I think we're going to focus on new characters while having the old characters. And I feel like that is possible. And if so, I believe that was probably a hard task to do. Because how much of screen time do you give Cindy? How much screen time do you give Dewey? How much screen time do you give the new final girl? You know what I mean? Like, how do you do that? And yeah, I think Scream 5 or Scream with a tagline will be successful. It will be a very big horror movie. And yeah, I just wish we could have had this movie next year though. Like that's the thing. If it wasn't for this, this big pandemic, I truly think, man, we could have had Scream next year. That would have been something if we had Scream next year, but obviously we gotta wait to 2022. But hey, that may be the best for it, to come out just in 2022, so they can have more time perfecting the story and perfecting what they what they want. So yeah. Yeah, let me know in the comments below. Are you excited for Scream 5? That's basically what we can call it now. And secondly, let me know some of your theories in the comments below. That's really all the theories that I have because it just plays into the story perfectly, I think. Cindy, the woman that they said in that little synopsis, returning to her town because of some killings. She returning to her town because she feels responsible for these, kids getting attacked and having more creative kills. You know, having this ghost face be more aggressive than ever before. Have that play into the story. You know what I mean? I think it'd be really cool. It has some stuff that's very, has some very unique twists and turns in the story too. Like one of them having Gale get killed off. It may make some people angry, but hey, and I think in the next week or the next month we're going to have some big casting news. But the two big theories is Cindy is going to be more of like a Gale Weathers type of character, and secondly, they're going to recreate the Drew Barrymore scene. I really think that. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, smash the like button, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and until next time.